Good morning, students. So we're continuing with the SQL practical. So in the last video we saw some group functions. Now the group functions, they are called as group functions because they are used to group more than one rows of data. So uh, based on a certain column. All right, so we have seen the certain group functions like max to find the max salary, min to find the minimum salary from that particular column, to find the average, to find the sum, right? So today we shall see about this using the group function count. Now when we use the count function, it counts the number of values that is entered in that particular column. All right, so how many values are assigned in that particular column, it counts and gives the number of that. So uh, in using the count function, uh, suppose like here you can see that the total number of rows is 13, right? So total number of rows is 13. So if suppose I use here select count, and how do you use the count function? Like you mention the function name, and since it is a function you have to use the parenthesis, right? So any kind of function you have to use the parenthesis, and within the parenthesis you mention the column name. So which column? So suppose like T number. So here you can see that the T number has total of 13 values, so or 13 rows, right? So if suppose you want to count the salary in that case, now what happen is the count function can detect null values also, and it eliminates the null values. That means it does not count the null values in this case. So suppose like salary, count salary from teacher. So you can see that the actual number of rows is 13. So that means salary also should be 13. But as you know that in the salary column, two teachers salary is null. So in that case you can see that the count detects the null value, and then it does not count that. Alright, so by default the count function does not count the null values. So you get two less numbers. So instead of 13 you get 11. Right, now if suppose you want to say like irrespective of the null values, let's say that you want that also to be included. All right, so you want that also to be included. So in that case what you do is that you use the asterisk symbol, star. So now by default if you do like this, select a star count from teacher, then you know that there are only 13 rows or 13 values, right? So now if suppose by self in the case of salary, you saw that there was only 11. So because it detected the two null values, so if you want that also to be included, then within the function parenthesis you mention the asterisk symbol. That means display even the null values. So you can see that now salary has 13 rows, so that means it includes even the null values, right? So if you remove this and then you see that within the parenthesis you mention the salary column, so count function will count the salary column up to 11. Right, so by using the asterisk symbol you can see that it includes even the null values or even the null rows. Right, so it counts the number of rows in that case. Now it is also possible that uh, it can display distinct values. right? So using the count function, you can also display distinct values. So how do you do that, right? So how, because by default count ignores count also displays the count ignores the distinct values, okay, and then the duplicate rows are also displayed. But if you want to display only the distinct rows or the data, in that case, suppose like in the case of department number, as you saw that in the teacher table, department number is repeated again and again. So here within the function parenthesis, you have to mention distinct department number, right? So when you do that, you can see that there are only 5 departments. All right, so if you remove this, you can see the select count department number, then it displays 13. That means all the duplicate rows are also displayed, right? So you can see that count, it eliminates the distinct, but it displays even the duplicate. So if you have to display the only the distinct values, in that case you have to use the distinct keyword clause, right? So here you can see that only 5 is displayed. Okay, now not only with the department number also, but suppose like distinct okay, in the case of T number, there it's exactly 13, right? If there is in the case of salary, but salary also is, I think, unique for all. Yeah, so that means here 10 salaries are distinct. That means 3 salaries of 3 teachers are same. Okay, so this shows the distinct salary. So the salary of 10 different teachers are different in this case, but salary of 3 teachers are same, so that's why those are not repeated here. Okay, now if suppose uh, in the case of, let's say that you want to display even as you have seen that using the count function, it is possible to display the null values also using the asterisk symbol. But if suppose like you want to calculate the average, right? Now keep in mind that group functions has some limitations. It has to do with some mathematical calculations. So like if you want to do want to calculate the average salary, right? Now normally if you calculate the average salary, what will happen is that avg salary. So this is the actual average salary of all the teachers, right? Now which is, so if suppose here you use the count function and you want to include the average salary of those teachers also who are null, all right, the average salary of those teachers also who are null. So in the case of this one, this average salary is determined by based on division by 11. So the total there are 13 teachers, but here since 2 salary is null, that is not counted, so it will be divided by 11. But if suppose you want the to calculate the average salary of all the 13 teachers, in that case using the count function it is possible. So what we use what is called as NVL function. So this was a doubt that you had in the previous online consultation, so practically I'm showing this to you, right? So using this NVL function, what you do is that here the NVL function mentions the salary column and the value that you want to insert in there, right? So here by so actually putting this 0, does not make any changes to the salary, right? But using this NVL function, what it does is that it increases the number of teachers. That means the null teachers, the null value salary teachers are also included in the average calculation. So here, just see that this is the value to, okay, 22205 point. So now when you use this NVL function, then, okay, wait, sorry, not count, AVG, sorry, average, right? We are calculating the average. So you can see that when we use the NVL function to calculate the average, as you can see that the value has decreased. Why? Is because the average value has decreased because now instead of calculating the average by 11, we are now calculating the average by 13. Right? So that's why the average salary has it has changed. So so this is how you use the NVL function, right? So this forces the null values also to be included in the calculation of the average salary, right? That means when you want to include the null values also, okay? Now next one is the group by clause. Now group by clause is mostly used with the group functions, right? There are some certain limitations when we don't use it with the group functions, right? So we don't exactly get the required data as it is. So in this particular teacher table, since we have limited numbers of columns, so how do we use this? Suppose we want to display the say like minimum or maximum salary from the teacher table. Now what is the use of this group by function? Okay, oh sorry, group by clause. When we use this group by clause, we group the columns which we want to display, okay, which we want to display according to that uh, group column which we select. Okay, so here let me just say select department number, right, comma, say, okay, max salary from teacher group by department number. So here you can see that you want to display now now in the select query, it is not necessary that you should mention this department number because you have mentioned here department number group by department. But however, if you are grouping these columns by the department number, it is much better that you display this also so that you will know how you are grouping this, right? So suppose, like, see, if I do like this, you won't understand much judging by this table. What does it mean, max salary? You don't understand what it means, right? So max salary of what, in which way? So now if you mention here department number comma max salary, in that case you can see that now from here you'll get an understanding of what is the use of this group by clause. Now here it says like to display the department number and then calculate the maximum salary, right, from the teacher group, from the teacher table grouped by department number. So what we're doing is that we are finding out the maximum salary according to the department number. So in department number D05, the maximum salary of the teacher, that means let's say that in department number D05 there are 3 teachers. So out of those three teachers, who gets the maximum salary? Or in department D01, who gets the maximum salary? So that display that one. You got it? So that is why it's written here group by department number. So according to the department number, display the list of teachers who are getting the maximum salary. Okay, so the so here the columns that is to be displayed and the group by column, it should match. That means you can only write down here columns, all right, which has a link to this sorry, department number. So here you can see that the department number in the teachers table are duplicated, because this department number can be shared with any of the teachers, right? Can be shared with any of the teachers. Suppose like T01 also is in department number D05, T02 also is in department number D05, T03 also is in department number D05, like that, right? So based on that, you can display here the maximum salary of that. So here you are able to find the maximum salary on that. But suppose like here you are writing down, say like this T number. Now it is written here not a group by expression, because this T number, every teacher has a unique teacher number, right? So that cannot be displayed. That is unique for all the teachers. But in the case of the salary, the comparison can be made according to the department wise. But can the teacher number be comparison can be made? No, right? So that's why the columns to be displayed and the group by column has to match, right? Now, not only that, you can also say like a group the columns to be displayed by more than one group by columns. So suppose like in the case of, if you see the textbook here, it is written here that date of joining. So here let's mention here also DOJ. Now in the case of this, you can see that the date of joining is not same, right? So actually here in this case, the group by function using multiple columns is actually incorrect, because you can see that here the department numbers, as you can see that none of the teachers date of joining matches. So that's why all the 13 rows are displayed. So all the departments are not grouped. As you can see, department D02 is repeated here also, like that, right? So in this case, the group by multiple columns is not necessary at all. That means it does not give correct information at all. So it will give, if suppose let's say that D02, or those teachers who are in department number D02, all right, have the same date of joining, all right, and D05 have the same date of joining. In that case, what will happen is that you will get only 5 rows. So because the department number will be same, the date of joining of those who are in this department number also will be same. So that means instead of D02 repeating thrice, it will be in one row only, and then out of that the maximum salary also will be in one row only. You got it? Okay, so here using the multiple column is useless in this case, all right? But of course in other tables, all right, where multiple columns are used, where there is a similarity, then in that case group by multiple columns is necessary. Now then it is also, suppose like as you have asked that is it possible to use the where clause, right? Yes, it is also possible to use the where clause. However, in this particular table there are some limitations, like suppose like as per the textbook, if you see that to display the department wise average salary for the teacher whose salary is known or not known, right? So here suppose like do display the average salary department wise. Okay, so to display the department wise, that means group by department number. All right, group by department number. So here you have to display the department number, and then the average salary for the teachers from the teacher table, right, whose salary is known. That means those teachers whose salary value is displayed in table, right? So in that case we can use a where salary is not null, and then group by department number. So here you can see that it according to the department number 5 rows and then the salary. Now is not null, that so that's why now if you write here is null, that means only 2 teachers have null values, right? So that's why it shows here according to department number D03 and D02, which are null, right? So here you can use the where clause also. Now so of course it is also possible that without using the group functions also we can display. So suppose like where select department number and then okay, from where salary is not salary, but where t number equals to say like t01. Okay, select department number from teacher where t number equals to t01, group by. So you can see that by okay, so here you can see that you're able to use the where clause with the other columns also. Now suppose like in this particular table, the only column that will show a proper group by method is the department number. All right, but we can use other columns also, but it will not give you the proper data. Suppose select department number comma say like avg salary. So department number average salary from teachers group by t number. Okay, then salary, not salary, t name is also not there. In the case of department number, it will group by t number. Okay, department number max salary from teacher group by t number. Okay, select okay t number max salary. Okay, yeah, so here you can see that yeah, it's displaying the teacher number and max salary according to the teacher number, but here you can see that it's actually not grouping it, right? Because 13 rows are there in total, and then the actual rows are 13. So here all the teacher number is unique here, and the max salary is actually the max, is not the max salary of that particular group. Actually the use of group functions or the use of group by is the group uh, a certain column row wise, okay, based on this. Suppose like here T09, it says your max salary is 23,500, but this represents only T09 salary, right? Only T09 salary. In fact, here suppose if I write here department number, and then if I write here again the difference, so here you can see that according to the department number you are getting the maximum salary, right? But if you use the T number, teacher number, then all the teachers max salary is shown, which is their individual salary. But in the case of this one, this is the group maximum salary from department number D05. All right, so here grouping is done by the department number. All right, so that's why in this particular table this department number column shows the proper grouping method of using the group by clause, right? So it can be used with the count function also. It can be used with the all the other group functions also, okay? And you can use the where clause also in such case. All right, so yes, so go through this, okay? Go through these group by functions, okay? Sorry, group functions, type out all these practicals, okay? Query as much as you perform this query, trial by error and correction method, okay, you will come to learn about this. So understanding the query question is very much important, because based on that you have to write down this query. All right, so practice as much as possible in this SQL.